Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from whichever part of the world you're from. This is Kavita Ramchan from Life Success Coaching in Mauritius. So I'm continuing to read to you the book You Were Born Rich. We are on chapter 3, The Image Maker. And today is a very interesting topic. We were talking about John Canary the last time, Bob's friend, who was not very close to Bob, but he called Bob once and told him that I really need to meet you. And when they met, Bob gave him a time to meet him that was almost like anybody would have said, never mind. But John Canary took up the challenge and said, I'll be there. And he met Bob at that time that they decided. And then, after telling Bob his idea, and Bob is the one who tells people that you can do anything you want, there was no way Bob can tell him, no, you cannot do it, because he wanted to work with Bob to do a seminar with him or to teach with him. So here I continue now. When John Canary finished, I told him what I had told all the others. Yes, you can do it, but it's tough. Make sure you understand that, John. It's tough. You will have to do a tremendous amount of studying because you not only have to know what to say, but you must also have the answers to 1,001 questions arising as a result of what you say. Some of the questions will come from professional people, medical doctors, engineers, and lawyers who, in most cases, know what they're talking about. So you not only have to be right, but confident as well, or you will be discredited with your entire audience. And that only has to happen a couple of times and you're out of business. You not only have to study these ideas, but you must use them as well. I'll get back to this. I want to tell you something, and this is something I also tell all my clients. This is not an easy journey. I know it is not for just anyone. If a person really has grit in him, wants to make things happen in life, and really not just has a want or a wish or a hope, no, it has to be like a burning desire, and that is what will help him make a decision to come out of where he is, because this path is not an easy one. A lot of times I give the example of Edmund Hillary. He was the first one to climb Mount Everest. He didn't make it on the first attempt. He didn't make it on the second attempt. He made it on the third attempt. And that also not alone. There was a guy with him called Tansen. Many people don't know about Tansen. But the two of them made it on top. And the third time when he went, he was a little more wise. He took along somebody who knew the inside roads of Mount Everest. And together they climbed it. Now, let me tell you what he described once that I heard. That when he was climbing that, when you start climbing a mountain, in the beginning, you're like all perked up, you have all the energy, everything. As he was climbing the mountain, it the temperature was dropping. So it was beginning to get tougher, right? To climb. And that is still okay. But what he started seeing along the way was enough to scare anybody and make them come back. He started to notice so many people who had died on the way going to Mount Everest. And yet he persevered. Not once, not twice. On the third attempt, he made it. And after he made it, so many people have been able to climb Mount Everest. And he says, and somebody said, I don't know where I read this, it's not that people could not climb Mount Everest before, you know. The Mount Everest was big in their mind. One person had to do it first, and then it became easy for them to do it. So here, I tell this to all my clients. I don't like to tell somebody like, yes, come in the coaching, it's very easy. No, it's not easy. I tell them, come, but be prepared. Be prepared to give in a lot of yourself to 1 hour to yourself every day at least, you know. And I remember also, like how Bob says, you'll be like scrutinized by your audience. I remember once doing a talk, and I somehow don't like to tell people, you know, something that's not true. Basically, I've been looking for the truth for the longest time in my life, and when I found it, all I wanted to do was share it with the world. And when I was sharing it, I was like being very raw, like the truth as it is. And I remember somebody asking me in an audience, "Do you realize what you're saying? Like, do you realize the impact this can have on people's lives?" I'm like, "Yeah, it had an impact on my life when I discovered it because I came out of depression. So I'm hoping it will help everybody come out of their negative situation, whatever it is." And then I asked the guy a question. I said, "Would you rather I speak the truth to you, or would you rather I tell you a sugar coated lie? That will feel good, but it's not the truth, And I don't think we have time today in the world to still talk in other languages. Talk straight. Today's generation is ready for the truth. We don't need to sugarcoat and go via trying to please people. No, the truth shall set us free. We've heard that. The world is ready for the truth. And it's time for people to arise and understand this truth that can help them come out of anywhere they are. I can swear by this knowledge. It saved my life so much. Okay. You not only have to study these ideas, but you must use them as well, or there will be no conviction in your talks. Not to mention the fact that you will be a walking physical contradiction to what you teach. It is next to impossible, for example, to have a sick person teaching health. See, when I'm telling people you can have anything you want, right? Because I got something that I really wanted. Now, it's not that that's it. I want more. Yes, now that I know this works, I want more. But while I'm on the journey to acquire more, I can still speak of the truth of this information because Bob Proctor has done it. So many of his consultants have done it. Sandy Gallagher has done it. you know it doesn't matter how educated you are. See, like for Bob, it was not easy to do this. He was not highly educated or anything. In fact, today I feel that's better. The lesser we know, the lesser we think we know, because you know the fact that we think we know so much, it kind of becomes a block for us to open our minds to another kind of thinking, because we feel what we've learned is already okay, it's good, and we are so convinced we could kill somebody for what we believe in. Beliefs are very hard to change, very hard, especially if you've been highly probably educated with degrees and degrees, and then somebody who's not educated comes and tells you what you're doing is all wrong. you know but it's time for humanity to wake up, to understand that it's the emotional quotient, the emotional intelligence, that is more important than the intellectual intelligence, and it's more powerful because it can shift your life like night and day. That's why the world is where it is today. We have the best of medical facilities, and yet we have so many diseases on the rise. A COVID had to come to the world in these times of such advanced medical facilities. Think, where wars are happening in the world. What are we doing? Do you know the effect of a war on generations? It's not done. We need to start to think from the heart, to start to think, what are we doing? And I'm going to tell you, even if you don't want to do this, If you have children and you don't do it, you don't question, you don't think of what you're doing, you're passing that same idea to your children. I'm a living proof of it. That's why I'm telling you that. So even if you're walking and you don't have the results yet, you will have to speak with conviction that the knowledge works. I don't have all the results I want yet. I'm telling people you can be a multimillionaire. I am a multimillionaire, yes, when it comes with my husband, but when it comes to my coaching business, not yet. But I'm working towards it and I know it works. So I know it's going to happen. I don't doubt it because I know it works. You must develop showmanship and voice control, and on it goes. In short, John, for every one who makes it, 1,000 fail miserably. You know, a lot of people like to do what Bob is doing. I was one of them. But at that time, it was like, wow, I want to do that. I want to talk. That knowledge resonates so much with me. I want to teach like him. And then when I was told, okay, go and teach, go and do some Facebook lives, I was like, oh no, how will I do that? But because what I wanted to change in my life was so powerful, was so strong, I was willing to cross any barriers to do that. Because my life changed so drastically and I really wanted to bring this, it was like finding your soul's purpose to teach this information. And when you do something with that intention, that it is your God given gift to share this knowledge to the world, and you have this commitment towards a higher power, like who we call God, you will cross any borders. You will face anything to do it. You have to have the desire to want to achieve whatever you set out to achieve. For me, it was the happiness of my children because I could see my son going into depression, not even realizing it was because of me. So, there, I always exceed my time. Sorry for that. And have a great day. I wish you an advanced Merry Christmas and enjoy life. Bye bye.